Thank you for joining me for this video segment of addictMMA, and today's subject is Derrick Lewis, the Black Beast, the next one in line for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the world. And he's going to be taking on, of course, the current champ, Francis Ngannou. And what a lot of casual fans maybe don't realize, if you've just started watching the UFC after seeing Francis Ngannou dispatch of Stipe Miocic the way he did just a few months back, well then let me tell you something. You've got a lot to learn, because his next opponent, Derrick Lewis, also has a victory over Francis Ngannou, much like Stipe did. And as it turns out, the Derrick Lewis and Ngannou fight was not necessarily the best fight ever. In fact, you might say it was the most boring fight ever. Probably one of the worst fights as a fight fan that you could ever imagine. However, he got the victory. It was kind of one of them things. Judges default. I don't know what to do, because between both fighters, Ngannou and Lewis, there was a combined strikes of less than 100. I don't remember the exact number. I just know that they broke records with how boring that fucking fight was. That was back in 2018, though, and since then, both fighters have started to, well, they keep winning, but they've started to kind of put it together a little bit better, their abilities. Francis Ngannou absolutely showed up to fight against Stipe Miocic in their last fight. That's why he's the champ. And to be quite honest with you, that's the scariest dude on the planet right now, based on how calm, collected, and calculated, patient Francis Ngannou was against Stipe the last time. You got to imagine this is going to be a different type of fucking fighter when you see him against Derrick Lewis this time. It's not going to be the same fight. Both fighters have been getting better at honing their skills. Now, Derrick Lewis, on the other hand, is still very sloppy. He has cardio issues, and, well, you know, from what I understand, he's got a little testosterone. That's what he said on Joe Rogan's podcast one time, and that's a hindrance, and I hope that they can do something that helps him with that, because he's going to need every bit of it when you go in there against goddamn Francis Ngannou. Now, as a fan of Derrick, I'm a fan of both of these guys, but I'm more of a fan of Derrick Lewis. And I got to tell you, I would love it if you could just bring that goddamn championship back on into America. Bring it to Texas, one of the best places. I live in Florida, so I consider us the second best state next to Texas based on their gun laws and stuff. But let me tell you, we're the two best states in the country right now. And I just want to see this motherfucker bring it back home to America. That's all I care about at this moment. But Derrick Lewis is one of the most fun guys ever, and why I like him so much, why I am such a fan, aside from being an American, is also just the funny shit that he says. Like, in a world where fighters are always trying to figure out their best ways of talking trash and how to, you know, to kind of fucking talk on the mic so that they do better and get the marquee fights and the things that they're looking forward to. Derrick Lewis is just himself, man. And post-fight, during press conferences, it doesn't matter. He's always got something funny to say. You know, he actually said recently that the reason he doesn't like Francis Ngannou, for two reasons. Two reasons he hates Francis Ngannou and can't wait to kick his ass. One, he hates guys with good hair. Derrick Lewis hates guys with good hair. And Francis Ngannou's got that fucking nice fade, and he's got the flat top going. And he says, yo, and when I stand next to him, he makes me look fat. Derrick Lewis referencing Ngannou again, he says, when I stand next to him, he makes me look fat. So that's why I want to punch him in the face, which is very funny. Dude, Derrick Lewis has said a lot of crap about, you know, Travis Brown. Remember when he was a UFC heavyweight? And married to Ronda Rousey, and he used to talk a lot of trash. Oh, I sent flowers to Ronda. I didn't know if she was going to be watching the fight coming up. I'm going to have to train extra hard to make sure I beat her man because he likes to hit women. Like, Derrick Lewis will say whatever comes off his mind, kind of like I do. So this is why I'm a huge fan. And as to why he hated Daniel Cormier, because even one time they had a little heated discussion, and backstage, Derrick Lewis says, I'm going to knock you out, DC. DC said, well, they were sitting right next to each other at a press conference while DC was the current champ. And he said, well, why do you want to knock me out? What's the problem? And in reference to the video that's on YouTube now, and you can look it up, here's an image of Daniel Cormier when he was in a video. It was all about that cake and chicken. You can YouTube that. But as it turned, Derrick Lewis's reason for not liking Daniel Cormier is that well, he disrespected Popeye's chicken, and he didn't like that too good, you know. So this is the kind of fun guy that Derrick Lewis is. It's the kind of guy that he is, but also you got to keep in mind this dude can pick up trucks. Like, not all the way, but like he's one of them powerlifting types that can lift a fucking truck, you know, from one end and just lift it up. You know, he's on Twitter showing people that stuff. Dude, he's a huge, massive son of a bitch. And if anybody's got the knockout power to stifle and rival that of a Francis Ngannou, it's Derrick goddamn fucking Lewis. You know, the Black Beast. So, again, who knows what'll happen? I'm not making any predictions until that fight is booked, so you won't get a prediction from me out of that fight for you know, the rest of the year until we see it. But from what they're telling us, that fight is to be booked sometime this summer, so we could look forward to it. I hope for a July or August fight with these guys, because I'm eager. I want to see it. I'm ready. And you know, after Derrick Lewis beat up that guy that broke into his car, well, I mean, obviously he's going to need a moment for his hand to heal, at least a day. So let's just give it some time. But that's a fight I want to see, and that's why I fucking love Derrick Lewis. As I stated just a couple of days ago, on May 18th, as Derrick Lewis was leaving his gym, somebody was trying to break into his car. It was about 9:30 in the morning over in Houston, Texas, where he's at. And first of all, I just want to say, like, listen, you gotta be a dumb piece of shit to break into a vehicle outside of a goddamn gym where people train to fight. Just for your own safety and benefit of preservation of life, you have to assume that everybody in there knows how to kick your fucking ass. And whatever ego you've got, it's got to stop. It's got to stop at the sidewalk, man, because, dude, what a bad move this was for a guy. I don't know his name. I'm not going to give you his name. But after having read the article on SB Nation, Derrick Lewis went to the Instagram just a couple of days ago to show off his fist here with the caption, "Satisfaction, hashtag," or "he's okay." And in the Instagram post, Derrick Lewis posted, you know, hashtag Herb Dean's fault. And I just find that to be great. I love it. I love how Derrick Lewis is able to make jokes and make fun. He always does that. And right here you can see it. And real quick, casual fight fans, let me just point something out to you. You'll notice the slight bruising on the knuckles there. Those are proper spots to have bruising. Middle of the hand, yeah? Where you want, you don't want to hit anybody out here, because you're going to break this. And it looks to me like maybe there's some bruising on his ring finger, which means he caught dead middle of the fist. And that's cool. But listen, please don't break your hand on these idiots. Derrick Lewis, we need you to put on a show for us this summer when you take on Francis Ngannou. And as much as I am a fan of Francis Ngannou, and I am a fan of Francis Ngannou, I just must say, bring the goddamn belt back to America, and what better place than in fucking Texas? You know what I'm saying? And then you take your gold belt and you go over to Joe Rogan's podcast and you do a fucking badass show with him, with the gold belt sitting there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, as a fan, I'd like to see that. That's me, and I'm a fan of Derrick Lewis. I'm a huge fan of Derrick Lewis. Obviously, that's why I'm doing this video.